Hi everyone, I'm Rhonda Weisberg with Channel 63, and this is another segment of Up Close and Personal, and I'd like to welcome you into the home today, a very special home. You're in for a treat with Dr. Richard Weiner and his lovely family. Well, part of them are here today. His wife, Lynn, and one of his 5 daughters, Barry, is with us today. Dr. Weiner, if you haven't met him, like I hadn't met him until recently, is a very unusual guy. And I take great pride today in introducing him to the BallenIsles community. I want to tell you how I met him, and you'll understand why I was so impressed with him. My mother is a patient in Morse Geriatric, which is a local, well-known nursing home in the area, and I visit her often. And one particular day, a few months ago, I was there, walking her in a wheelchair, and all of a sudden we heard incredible music. And I wheeled her into a room where 1 or 2 people were sitting at that time. There was a lovely woman there who said, "Oh, Dr. Weiner is here and he's going to be playing music for us." And I said, "Well, how do you know him?" She said, "He was my orthopedic surgeon. And he comes to Morse on a regular basis, and you'll hear him tell you where else he visits, because he's so wonderful and charitable with his second life, his musical life, that he really entertains the population from his heart and makes a world of difference in people who don't get out to hear music on any kind of a regular basis." So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Weiner. And Dr. Weiner, thank you very much for having us in your home. I'd like to ask you some questions about your background. As I mentioned, you are an orthopedic surgeon, but long before that, you came in contact with the piano. How old were you when you started to take lessons?
I started at age 7.
And you took lessons for?
6 years.
6 years. So my question to you is, and I think I asked you this when I first met you, how did you make a decision? Because you're of concert quality.
Oh,
how did you How did you make a decision as to whether to continue with the piano or go on to the medical world?
Piano was not going to be professional. It was just a pastime. And I enjoyed playing, and I did some shows in high school. But actually, when I went to college, that was the end of it. I didn't play piano for 13 years. 4 years of college, 4 years of med school, 5 years of residency. There was simply no time. And then when I moved down to Florida in 1991, then I got back to playing the piano.
Mm-hmm. So what was the impetus to come back to the piano?
It's interesting that I was at St. Mary's Hospital, and they were having a fundraiser. They were having a charity event, and they asked for people who could perform and had various talents. So I thought, oh, I'd get back to the piano. So I just started practicing a song that I had known in the past, and I performed in that show. And then the following year, they did it again, so I needed to step it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's when I wrote a song called The Trauma Man, because I'm an orthopedic trauma surgeon, and I sang it, and I played. That was the first time I ever sang. And I played at the Palm Beach County Community College, again for a fundraiser for St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm. And so that it became ongoing, part of your daily routine. When you come home from a tough day in the office, do you head, besides saying hello to your wife and family, do you come right to the piano?
Yeah, whenever I have an opportunity.
Because it does
But more, I like to play for people. Rather than just playing for myself in my own home, I would go to nursing homes and play there, and rehab centers.
Tell us a little bit more about that. I alluded to the fact that you play in Morse and other locations. Where could someone go and hear you if they happen to be in one of the nursing homes?
Wherever my patients are. If I have patients in a particular nursing home and they have a piano, then I play. If I walk by and I see a piano, then I play, and then I gather a crowd.
Yeah, that was an amazing day for me because you were in scrubs. You had obviously just come from either the office or the operating room, and you sat down, and I remember thinking to myself, who is this guy in scrubs that's going to play the piano, not having any idea the quality of what I was about to hear. And they didn't want to let you go. I do clearly remember that. You gather an audience and they want to stay. So what kind of music do you really like to play?
Everything. Everything from 1920s to modern. I like to play what patients want to hear. Mm-hmm. So I know that the older people like the old-time music, so I started learning the older songs. And younger people like the newer music, so I learned those songs.
Right.
But what happened was the 3rd year they were going to do a fundraiser at St. Mary's. I needed to step it up. I figured I needed to do something else. And the girls were getting a little older. I thought they could sing. So I started writing songs for them to sing that I could play. I just thought that rather than playing other songs that are already out there, I'd write my own. And we did that. And then for some reason, the charity event was canceled. And now I had all these songs, and I said, what am I going to do? So this is make an album for charity. So we made an album, and we raised about $10,000 for St. Mary's Children's Hospital.
Fantastic.
And then Sunfest, one of my patients was involved in Sunfest. He said, you should play at the Sunfest. So we played at the Sunfest. And then someone saw us there and said, oh, we want you on the radio. So then we went to the radio. And they said, we want you at Roger Dean Stadium. So the girls sang the Star Spangled Banner, I don't know, 4 or 5 times for minor league and also the major leagues. And they met Mark McGuire. And then we were invited. They competed to perform for Marvin Hamlish. Someone told us about this event and they won. So one of my daughters played the piano, the 2 of them sang for him. And then from that, there was a fundraiser at the JCC. So then we performed for that. And then we went back to Sunfest. So we did Sunfest 3 times. And then we did Children's Miracle Network Telethon for St. Mary's Hospital. Then we did the Palm Beach County Medical Society at City Place. And then Palm Beach County Women's Society, and just one Lymphoma and Leukemia Society. So one thing led to another. Then 2 spots on TV, local TV, PBS and ABC.
So the word has just spread.
Right. Well, it was the girls that were really the
girls,
stars.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, people like seeing the young girls. They were 7 and 9 when we did our first album, and we've done 3 albums.
So you've got 5 girls.
Now I have 5.
Ages from
10 to 25.
To 25. And tell us a little bit about the daughter that is involved in theater in New York.
Right. She's just turned 24. She was the star singer. She's the one who could get on stage and just smile and didn't care there was an audience there. She'd sing in front of thousands of people. She sang, like when she met Mark McGuire, did the Star Spangled Banner solo. Sometimes they would do 2 of them, sometimes 4 of them, and sometimes solo. She was the only one who would do solo.
Right. How many of them play the piano?
They all play the piano, but they haven't continued it to the same extent. You know, they can play somewhat. The oldest one, she minored in music at Emory, and she did some jazz piano, and she started an a cappella group in medical school and was involved in professional chorus during med school in symphony.
So it's really interesting that since some of them are medical, others are into music and combinations thereof, everything that you're about, you've generously passed on to the girls. I'm sure there's a lot of Lynn in there too, but you've passed it on and promoted to your daughters, which is...
Well, Lynn was in our band too. She played the tambourine. She had good rhythm.
Okay, very important. Do you think you could play for us?
Sure.
All right. Then give us a taste of what I heard at Morse. Beautiful, just beautiful. Very memorable. So you've lived here in BallenIsles for how many years?
We moved here in 2002. We moved to Florida in 1991.
Right. And the kids all went to school locally? And
they all went to public schools. The 4 of them went to Middle School of the Arts, and then they went to Suncoast. And the youngest is not in middle school yet. But the schools were excellent. Middle School of the Arts was really good for them.
That's what we hear. We do have Barry here.
Come on over, Barry.
Come on and join your dad. Hi, this is Barry. She's the 10-year-old, the youngest of the group. Do you want to play something for us?
Sure.
Okay, great. was great. Thank you very much. Not easy to be put on the spot like that in front of the TV, and I appreciate that. One other question for you, Dr. Weiner. Would you say that you have fulfilled all your dreams musically, or is there something else to come, something that you feel you haven't done?
I've pretty much done what I really wanted to do. I mean, I've done the music albums. I've got to perform in so many places. It's been amazing, you know, and people are so happy. I have a patient who's turning 106 next month, and he just loves it. Every song, the smile that he has, you can see him moving to the music. Yeah. And in fact, Barry is friends with him. She plays chess with him all the time. She goes and visits him.
Right.
And it's just
living
great.
On his own?
He lives in a rehab center.
In a rehab center.
Yep.
Very good.
But he's really with it, and he enjoys it so much. And when I play, the people enjoy it so much that, I mean, that's how...
That I can attest to. And it was a room filled with people who had so much appreciation and love for you. And I look forward to the next time you swing by Morse. And if I'm lucky enough to be there, look for me. I'll be in the audience, and my mom. I think it's a remarkable thing that you do, and I thank you so much for welcoming us into your home and an opportunity to meet your family, especially Barry. And we wish you all the best. And,
thank you very much.
Beautiful things are continuing to happen for you and your family. I can see that.